This is, thank you. This is the nature of fire, right? So we use fire. It's been used throughout all traditions and all time, right? The Hopi Indians have prayers to the fire for its purifying, transforming. The Celtic traditions have beautiful ceremony around fire, and so do the Hindi, Buddhist, and other traditions. So we're going to use that for that purpose today. Hopefully you have brought, if you're on Zoom, your own candle, your own bowl to hold the ashes, because we do something with the ash after we allow it to feed something, right? So it isn't that, remember, all conditioned things stay conditioned. So as we burn the regrets, the resentments, what's going to happen is it's going to turn to ash. We're going to surrender that to the ash, but then the ash becomes nutriment for the next thing. This is the ever living cycle, right? And so the ash will either go into the garden, where ash is useful. It will go into the sea, right? It'll go somewhere where it will then be reabsorbed and used and continue, but not with negativity, not with regret, not with remorse, just as now its own nutrient, right? We know in this tradition, the two concepts of Hiri and Otapa, which I will talk about for just a moment, and then we'll begin. So Hiri is maybe understood as moral shame. Moral shame. Recognition that an unskillful, unhelpful act has been committed. Hiri, H-I-R-I. H-I-R-I, Hiri. It is understood to come before wisdom, that you have to see the consequence of things, right? You don't know. You put your hand in the fire, you don't know. You're just, right? And then it burns and you pull it out. And then, ooh, not a good idea. I don't want to do that. It relates to both self and other. It is not just acts against another. It begins with moral shame for acts against oneself. For acts against oneself. We're going to give those up today. So I want you to take extra time to think about those habit acts against oneself for which you know, Hiri says, this is not good for you. This is not skillful. This is not wise. This is not helpful, right? And we're going to give that to the fire today. So not just regrets, remorse, resentments, and wounds, but oh no, wait, I want to really change this destructive, afflictive, these are the words used, pattern in me. And so I'm going to write this down, offer it to the fire, let it be transformed, and then we're going to use it for future nutriment, right? And this is the way it continues. So think about that as we're doing this practice. So that's Hiri. We add it to our list. Moral shame. Where has there been shame? Where is there unskillfulness? Where is there contractedness? Where is there, whether intended or not, says the suttas, intended or not, where do you recognize harm that you have been the cause of? Right? We're going to burn that because we begin again, and then we begin again. And here we are at this beautiful time of year where we're going to begin again. We don't hold that. We don't define ourselves by it. We don't contract ourselves into it. We say, with wisdom, with loving kindness, with compassion, I release this so that it can become nutriment for another. I'm not going to hold on to this as me. This is not helpful. Through the wisdom, through the understanding, through the love, I can release it so that it can become of benefit to others. And then we have actions, words, and deeds that we will cultivate to contribute. So you get this idea of Hiri. And then Otapa. Otapa is the remorse for that wrong action. Right? We know it didn't help. It didn't work. It didn't get the result I wanted. There is a wisdom in this dread. Like, and what do I need to do, says Otapa. What commitments will I need to make? That's going to go on your whole sheet today. What's the commitment? What's the vow? What's the promise? What's the prayer for how I'm not going to do that anymore? What am I going to choose now in Otapa? Recognizing the power of habit, the power, the proclivities, right? The propensities, what am I going to now do? Instead, we have to come up with something, don't we? We can't just say, no more that. It is understood to be insufficient. Every New Year's resolution is that. We go, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. And we don't do it because we haven't gone through the whole process. And the whole process is first remembering and recognizing the harm, the unskillfulness, the damage, the destruction, the affliction of these, this mind first. What will I offer in its replacement? So I'll give you just one of mine. I have, right, this injury, and the injury is taking longer than I ever thought, and there it still is. And I'm going, what do I really need to be doing with this? And I go to PT and I go to Pilates and I stretch the knee and I try to walk. I'm doing a lot of right stuff. And I'm like, this seems not to be working the way I think is possible. And so what do I need to do? Well, what I need to do now is simply strengthen. I need to get to the why. I need to spend a half hour. I need to get on those weight machines, whatever amount I can do. And it might be one, I don't know, 3, who cares? And I need to do that several times a day. I don't just need to stretch the bands and the, right, which is good. These are all good things, but I need to bump it up. I need to get really serious about this. So here's my commitment to myself towards the good is to commit myself really wholeheartedly. 3 times a week, I'll be in there upstairs doing the whatever I'm doing. And what do I know? What do I know for certain from that? Good will come. It will. Now, I don't know what that's going to look like. That's dangerous to go. Then by February, I should be able to, this is deadly. These are resolution, or by I'll 30 pounds, by don't do it, right? But I can make this commitment. I can say 3 days a week, no matter what, I'm going to get there and work on this. And so that becomes then a commitment to a process, doesn't it? A commitment to a quality of being, a kindness towards myself, sometimes kindness towards others. It is not outcome based. It does not say by March 3rd, I will be able to lift 250 pounds with this knee. And you can feel, can't you, the contractedness in that. Well, I don't know what that will be. I also know certainly I will learn, grow, and heal from this commitment. There's no confusion for me about it. Will it mean I can X or Y or Z by March? No idea. We don't go there. We don't set the outcome. We set the path. That's our job. That's Otapa.
How would you do that in a function? Let's just say worry.
Yes.
So I will worry about things that have that state.
Yes.
And if I got them hit in my stomach, and the worry is about
A thing.
Something.
Right?
Something.
Yeah.
So how would you
work with worry?
Yeah,
let's say.
I wrote it down.
Yeah.
As worry to release.
Yes. Really lovely.
I don't really know how I would
work with it. So Cindy's talking about then, this is a physical thing, a tangible thing. How would you work with something like worry? So I'm going to ask the group, because there's worry for a lot of us. How would you then work with worry? Well, here's what you wouldn't do. Let's name that first. You would not say, I'm not going to worry. Like that's the outcome, isn't it? But we don't do that. We impute, we employ, we include processes that can ultimately undo worry. So what might that be?
Well, what comes to my head is like change the wording.
Change the wording. So instead of worry, concern, care. We could do that. I care about this, right? I'm wishing well for this person or this outcome. It could be language changing. What else could it be?
Fear.
Stop and take 3 breaths.
Stop, pause, offer yourself 3 breaths, and recognize worry. Recognize that mind. We call it worry mind. That simply would be a number one great thing to do, Cindy, because with the recognition of worry mind, not just caught in the propulsion of worry, you can make a choice about what to do. And so the very first thing I would offer yourself is recognizing that mind. We can call it worry mind, care mind, concern mind, fretting mind. We can recognize it and offer ourselves what? What would be the work? What would you do? Oh, recognizing worry mind, I will now,
Compassion for yourself.
yes,
That's great.
offer myself compassion. Wouldn't you? Like love, care. Can I feel for myself in this moment of worry? You have changed the mind right there, literally. You have now moved from lizard brained in worry, which just perpetuates fight, flight, right into neocortex. I will now offer, instead of propagate worry, care, love, compassion, kindness, right? With recognition. Recognition must be first. And then you could think of infinite things, right? Now, from my point of view, I talked about it last week. I don't think recognition is sufficient. I talked about it. I don't think it is enough. I think we have to recognize. I think we have to name, what is this worry? What's its current state? We drop in, what's happening? Tight, contracted, distressed, can't sleep, right? And then we make an offer. And then that offer ultimately has to be what I call real. What's that? What do I mean by real? A real offer. What is it I really need?
I recognize when I do that, when I name it and recognize it and feel it in my body, I say to myself, I realize that this might not take, that it might take me doing it 100 times,
That's right.
right?
So
So
just
that I
this
don't
moment.
get frustrated in 2 seconds.
That's right. Don't go into
Before it
judgment,
comes back.
criticisms,
Yeah.
because what's likely? I will go through that process. I will commit myself wholeheartedly. I'll turn my head on the pillow, and then the next moment of worry mind. But what's our work? It's exactly the same.
Yeah, to start over.
It is exactly the same over and over. And out of our our judgments we propagate. So those are the ideas. I wanted to give you sort of the Buddhist slant on this because we all have a tendency to go, that's got to be gone now. Uh-oh. Let's start there. That's a problem. We're going to see that before the end of the meditation. Count on it. But I am committed to a quality of heart mind. I am committed to holding that very thing differently, right? Spaciously, lovingly, rather than, why can't that just go away? Why do I just keep doing that? Why isn't, right? Not helpful. You're just propagating that storyline that I am deficient. This is hopeless. Fuck it. I'm eating the cookie. That's how we get there. Forget about it because we go, it should be gone. I burnt it up. It should just, that's it. And now here I am again, but we're going to commit ourselves to a process, aren't we? That's the new year. That's the fire, the energy to continue with something new, something different, something more wholehearted, something more loving, right? And you're going to have to come up with it because we're going to start offering. That's the offer again and again. Instead of roll my eyes, I'll not. Okay. Your perspective. All right. Let me open to that.
not easy.
It's not
Necessarily.
easy, simple, but not easy. Okay, you get the idea. We're gonna go forward.
I also like to do like physical activity, like a plank.
Physical activity. So this is what the sutta says. I'm just going to work from there. It says, don't just do an activity, do one that embodies that good-hearted whole mind. Do it from there, not just right. But so what is the body asking? But what is this cultivated heart mind suggesting? Right? It tends to be an opening gesture. When we look at them, when we've researched, what gesture do you make in loving kindness? Right? What gesture do you make in compassion? Well, it's open-handed, right? It's never like this. It's just not in the body to do it, right? Could anybody imagine enacting compassion like you couldn't do it unless it is to hold another, and you would do so lightly, wouldn't you? Right? So you're going to think about, what is this quality of mind? How do I then embody it? Robin says, and that's beautiful. And the embodiment is from there, not an exercise. No, we often do that for two reasons: distraction. Number one, energy release. That's okay, right? We might do that later, but the embodiment must come first. How will I enact and embody this? I want to make sure. Did I just see someone? Okay. All right. Let's begin. Here we are. I'm going to read a poem as we prepare to sit. This poem is by John O'Donohue. John O'Donohue was an Irish poet mystic, by the way. He was also a mystic. Very good friend of David Whyte's. David has never gotten over the loss of John and never will. Talks about him very regularly. And John wrote a blessing called At the End of the Year. He was paying attention. So we're going to read this and then prepare to sit. Here we go. As this year draws to an end, we give thanks for the gifts it brought and how they became inlaid within, where neither time nor tide can touch them. The gifts and blessings that cannot be destroyed. They are here. They are with us. Neither time nor tide can touch them. The days when the veil lifted and the soul could see delight, when a quiver caressed the heart in the sheer exuberance of being here. Surprises that came awake in forgotten corners of old fields where expectation seemed to have quenched. The slow brooding times when all was awkward and the wave in the mind pierced every sore with salt. That's what Cindy was just talking about. When the wave of the mind pierced every sore with salt. The darkened days that stopped the confidence of the dawn. Days when beloved faces shone brighter with light from beyond themselves. And from the granite of some secret sorrow, a stream of buried tears loosened. We bless this year for all we learned, for all we loved and lost, and for the quiet ways it brought us nearer to our invisible destination, nearer to our own hearts at the end of the year. And let's prepare to sit, anchoring yourself in whatever way you can while sitting to the earth. Feeling the feet, the seat, the hands in contact. Checking into the uprightness of the spine and the beautiful balance of the head. And then as we breathe in and down, we breathe in and down into the whole softened front of the body. releasing, relaxing, and opening. Every pore, releasing every muscle. Settling ourselves deeper and deeper into the earth. Calling to mind all those who have come before us, all those who have enacted these traditions, who have recognized these transitions, and who have used them towards the good, who have sat in the rain and simply listened. Let's do that together now. We're going to let the breath simply breathe. We're going to just open the ear door if you're available to that. If you're not, if you can open a window, just listening to the cleansing drops of the rain. Also, the water element completely transformative as well. Letting the water element nourish the earth, letting the water nourish the body. We always nourish ourselves first, both by the lineage, by the traditions, by all the awakened ones who have come before. We always call them to mind. And by the elements that offer us support and refuge. We would not exist without both. All of that goodness throughout all time, coming through the awakened ones, the traditions, the elements, and the goodness and goodwill of beings. Feel that support. we still and quiet the mind so that we remember. As we recollect these grievances, these pains, these remorses, resentments, as we let go of expectations and fears, as we release hatred. May we be transformed by these elements. And so we begin to breathe into the body, creating that sense of boundless space within the breathscape, within the heart space. And then remembering our own goodness. If you could picture yourself looking in your own mirror, create that image of yourself completely embodied with goodness. It is your true nature. Touching into that awakened heart mind. It is the only one that can hold the regrets without becoming them. It is our capacity to hold, for example, that worry mind, that rageful mind, without being lost in it. This is the skylight quality of bodhicitta. May we remember our true nature. And then, like a most loving parent, like a most loving deity, we review the year for signs of confusion, moments of greed, often moments of fear. And the actions that resulted from that conditioned mind. Remember, held lovingly, embraced by the heart of bodhicitta. Remembering moments of impatience, moments of unskillfulness, moments of demand, of expectation, greed, wanting it my way. Moments of limited thinking, moments of confusion, moments of ignorance. Recollecting them now, we have many already possibly written down, but if any come to mind, just know that will be included. You may not have a single moment. It may be more a quality of contractedness, a quality of not enoughness, a quality of fear that appears when we are often too hungry or tired, too lonely, maybe too angry. In these moments, as we know, we do not have access to our whole true being. The recollecting them now is not to remember who we really are, but to remember, in fact, who we are not. The reason they're coming to mind is this was not me. This was not my goodness. This was not my clear seeing. This was not my open heart. And in that moment, we recognize that we have ignored ourselves. We have failed ourselves in the expression of ourselves. And in the fire ceremony, we're in fact simply invoking the radiant, brilliant, clear seeing fire of our own awakened heart minds. The fire element within, represented then by the fire in the candle, in the flame. We're going to burn up these afflictions, these confusions, this greed with our own radiant, clear seeing, open hearted heart mind. The reason they have come to mind is because you are already prepared to change them. You already have wisdom. You already have some clarity. You know they have not served you or others, and you are ready to relinquish the habit. We're just going to rest with these afflictions as we recollect them, being careful, as I said, not to make them you. We recognize them as our ignorance. We recognize them as our weariness, our fear. And we must hold them close as well. And we continue with each out breath as we are recollecting to soften the body, to settle a little bit more into what? Into our true being. The softened, easeful, still, completely open quality of being. as you're recollecting these moments, see if you can't drop beneath then the recollection and feel into the body. I was just noticing for myself how a resentment feels hot and hard and contracted and blocking. I can recognize not only the resentment, but how it does not serve my own well being. Does not serve this body or this mind or this heart. If we cannot yet see the way, by the way, as we're calling up expectations, as we're calling up angers, if we cannot yet feel the way it is of harm both to ourselves and others, we will not be able to release it. We're still using it as an essential protection. But if you can sense as by that example that this is not serving anyone, the weight of this, the contractedness of this, the hardness of this, the hotness of this is not a benefit to me or to others. I am choosing to release this. And as we breathe it out, as we let it go, let it move into the fine mist of metta. Let it be held by that mist of goodwill. Breathe it into the arms, the open arms of friendship, of care, of kindness and compassion. We must free ourselves from this habit of mind to free others. And we begin with ourselves. May I also release then the pain and the fear that has kept these habits in place, that has fed them, that has nourished them, and the quality of mind that keeps them alive. May they too be released. We can breathe in and see what the fear is there. that I can't be okay, that someone else will have more, that I can't be seen for who I really am, which is, of course, never true. Because we can remember. And then we replace those energies with the healing energy of commitment, the healing energy of light, of fire, the transformative qualities that have come from seeing clearly. We burn up the old and set the new afire. We enliven it, we embody it. We commit ourselves to living it in ways that are both known and committed and yet also unknown. These are aspirations and intentions towards the happiness, the ease, the well-being, the health of oneself, committed with wholehearted care. And then picture yourself once again enacting this goodwill, embodying this friendship, being on one's own side, soaking in the good of oneself. Breathe it in and see how that feels. That clear seeing, wise, most loving, most compassionate heart mind of you. And so then there will be nothing to get rid of because it has already been transformed by your clear seeing, by your open heartedness. By your embodied presence. The fire, the energy of your own loving heart. May all of this goodness that is intentioned and aspired to today be realized. And may this meditation, this practice, and the continued practice that we are committing ourselves to each day this year, may it contribute so that we may all enjoy happiness. So that we may all be protected and free from harm, from fear, from affliction, from all suffering. So that we may rejoice and be glad, remembering our every moment blessings. And committing ourselves to offering those blessings to others. In this new year, may we cultivate continued, ever expanding equanimity by being still and silent for some moments every day. Until all beings are awakened and happy and free. So be it. Okay, so here we go. Here's the ceremony. I'm going to pull up another, it's not a poem, it's something I wrote years ago, which is really essentially the fire practice. So let me find that for you. Just tucked it. So if you would get out your candles, we have a couple ways we're going to do it here. We're in good shape. We've got lots of candles and things while I get this on. Hold on. Let's see if I can get you all to see that now as well. Can you see a thing that says Happy New Year 2024? This fire? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be reading that for us here. You all will have that here for yourselves as well. And so the first thing you're going to do is to take your bowl, just make sure you have it near along with your flame. And that's fireproof. Yeah, you're good. Good to know. Good to know. So you're going to get out your single pieces of affliction, right? Get that out. Robin, you're just going to write yours. I'm not doing mine right now either. So we have time.
We have a lighter.
Yeah, we have both candles and there's also actual candles.
I mean, I don't.
There you go.
I
There.
love to light candles,
That's it.
but I can't.
Okay, so you've got that lit. You've got your single pieces of paper. This is going to take you a little while because we're not just burning. right? We can't just burn. We have to reflect, don't we? We have to remember the way this has not been of benefit. You have to remember the way this has not worked for you. You have to feel into the truth, just like I did in that little meditation. You've got to recognize this is harming to me and others. This is not a choice I'm making anymore. I'm really letting this go towards the well-being and benefit of myself and others, just like I suggested in the meditation. So you're going to be reflecting on that. While you're doing that, I will read the fire poem. If in fact you'd rather just wait, listen, and then do it, you have all that as an option. You're going to light it, you're going to place it in the bowl, and you're going to watch it burn. As it burns, you are letting it go. May this be released. May this be no more. Right? Whatever phrase you are offering. So I'm going to let you go ahead with that first. Why don't you take some moments with that? Letting the smoke from the paper, let it move into the fine mist of metta. Remember, it's not going away, it's being transformed. So that it, in fact, as we said earlier, it becomes the fine mist, not separate. And we have this one, if you like that one better. So I'm going to just show you what's happening here. We're burning our things into. See the smoke. Turning into that fine mist. That is, if anybody recollects, the Tonglen practice. Anybody remember what we breathed in first? That dark, musty, cloggy smoke, which becomes that fine mist. May this fire shine its bright flame on my thoughts, helping me recognize their benefit or their harm, knowing their true origin. May I protect me and others from knowing and unknowing thoughts, words, and deeds, and the merits and consequences that will follow. May it be realized in this new year and always. May I recognize by those thoughts, those that are a benefit, and those that are unskillful. knowing their true origin. And their true origin is always fear. May I know my own fear, and rather than speak it or think it, may I act lovingly, skillfully, in protection, we could say, of my own heart mind. May this fire sharpen my eyes. May it open my eyes to see the truth in this present moment. May it allow me to offer what I am able to and to accept what is beyond my current capacity. May all my actions be generated from love and compassion for self and other. May this be realized in this new year and always. Reflecting on one at a time, feeling into the body that has held that contraction, seeing if you can, by the fire of your own recognition, also burn that. Remember, we're burning it into metta. This is the true transformation of the heart, to take all of our afflictions, right, all of them, and in recognizing what they really are, transforming them into loving kindness and compassion. May this fire soften my mouth. May it protect me from speaking against another or in any way that may cause harm through idle chatter or untruths. May I speak with and from clear intention, allowing the beauty and spaciousness of silence and stillness to abide my thought and spoken words and speech. May this be realized in this new year and always. See if you recognize that these, in fact, are the precepts. These are the commitments that are made in a monastery every day. Right speech, right thought, right intention. May this fire open my ears that I may hear through deep listening, vibrating the truth with my whole heart, mind, and body. May it help me hear the sharp sound of judgment, harshness, and greed, and respond with gentle care and attention. May this be realized in this new year and always. Deep listening. May I recognize the tender heart and voice of fear in all its form. May I respond with compassion and contribute to the end of suffering. Remembering my true interconnection and interbeing with all beings everywhere, may I act in accord. May this be realized in this new year, in this next breath, and always. May this fire strengthen my arms and hands so that I may be of service to those in need. May this be offered with genuine care, with the understanding that others will also carry me in my humanness, vulnerability, and in my time of need. May this be realized in this new year and always. We are carrying and being carried every breath. May the fire of awareness protect me and all beings from violence. May the fire inspire and ignite my whole being, energizing my legs and feet, enabling me to walk the earth with peace, respect, and care. May I journey this human path with intention, wisdom, courage, and equanimity. All aspects of our basic goodness. May I walk this earth in peace. May this be realized in this new year and always. May I be strengthened by this fire to walk towards truth and good and away from that which no longer serves. May this be realized in this new year and always. May I be of service to all beings and to this planet of which I am an essential part, belonging and befriending all precious life. May this be realized in this new year and always. May I be encouraged by this community of gathered beings to begin and continue to renew my commitment to these mindfulness aspirations and intentions. May I know that I am supported in infinite ways. May this be realized in this new year and always. May I call out these intentions each day so as not to forget their necessity towards the welfare and the benefit of all beings. May I call them out each day. May this be realized in this new year and always. May it be so with the love, the protection, the care, the connection. Of all beings, in behalf of all beings. So be it. So we're not yet done. We're now going to take our whole, it may be an aspiration and an intention sheet. Do you have those? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. The only thing you're going to do is take a little tiny tear off that paper. One little tiny tear off that paper. This is a part of a tradition I have loved. And we have these, Tanner brought these. I couldn't figure out what we were going to do with them. And then I got genius. I got genius. So you want the littlest tiny piece. And that little tiny piece is going to first be burnt. Your, what you're releasing. You're going to be releasing along with your suffering. You're going to be releasing the goodness, right? We send it together while I'm opening this. And then we're going to decide where we're going to put your ash. So some of you will be burying this ash in the garden. Some of you will be taking it to the water. You're just going to expose it. I guess would be the right word. Share it with, I need some help with this. Somebody.
Yeah, that's what-
Otherwise, you're just going to hear me clicking.
I don't know if I can. do
There's
it,
some
but I'll give you a
something,
chance.
scissors or something in there.
Yeah,
You can get in that thing.
you have to really want to.
You gotta really want to get in there. And then there's these little gold candies we're going to be passing around. You can find something also. And you're going to take one more tiny, and I mean tiny tear. You're actually going to ingest your intentions. Yeah. That paper, it's going in.
Tiny.
It's going in. It's not just going out, it's going in.
After it's burned.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
Not burning. The burnt part's just already done. You're taking one more tiny little piece. And Leanne will need a little piece. You got yours? Okay, just a little piece of paper that represents that. We're going to pass these around. And for those of you who aren't here, when you're here, and we're going to be ingesting the good, the sweetness. And again, this comes through all traditions. If you're in the Sufi tradition, there are certain traditions where they take a taste of honey. The Jewish tradition takes apple, honey, right? Every tradition, right? There's bar none. The Indian indigenous peoples traditions all take something of sweetness and with your paper, ingesting the goodness. One bite. I don't know what these are. Well, by the way, I have no idea. Never had one. The gold, it was the gold itself. Actually, these are pretty good. It was the
Diana,
gold,
we just do something of sweetness, we ingest it right now.
yeah, with one little tiny piece of the paper. Your
of our intentions, our good intentions. Okay.
aspirations and intentions. These are called, Ferrero something. The reason I thought of them was the gold. Because in fact, we are burning our afflictions, aren't we all, to get to the gold? We are. And the gold is always there, by the way. Uh-huh.
You can what?
It maybe has a
Tucked over to the left.
a nut in there, or it's maybe
With the
chocolate and nuts around the,
Mhm.
oh, okay. You can't talk now. Oh, and there's a nut in the middle. Okay, surprises, surprises. Continue.
Yummy.
There are many of these.
They
Nice-
could, we
nice
can,
try,
you
Dad.
want.
They will be saved for you. Okay. So to be complete, we're going to just think about where you're going to put the ash. Remember, already transformed as nourishment. As nourishment, not as affliction. We're not sending it off with the bad news. This is one of the differences in this tradition, by the way. In some traditions, we burn the badness. We just let the badness propagate out there. That's never true. We use that, don't we, in this tradition? We use all affliction as the path to the goodness. It is transformed immediately as you recognize this does not serve. This is not a benefit. This doesn't help me. It doesn't help others. It is actually just suffering propagating itself. And by that very nature, it is immediately already been transformed into that fine mist. If you have an envelope, there's some envelopes in the Donna box. You can put it in an envelope to take with you.
Can I just take the pie tin? Or
You
want-
can take
I
the-
bring it back?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
maybe.
Yeah. Or make a pie.
I think that would be.
I like that idea better.
With the ashes.
I like the pie idea.
I'm gonna be returning the pie.
We are almost near the end of our time. I'm so glad we got this to happen in this amount of time. It can take us a while. I'd like to hear what's happening for those of you who are on Zoom. Please let me know. How is this ceremony for you? What's this process for you? Remember, it is not specific to the Buddhist tradition in any way. It is a spiritual ceremony. There's a fire ceremony in all traditions. So you do not have to, there's no being a Buddhist and the truth is you are already a Buddha. Whether you know or not, because that goodness, those merits are what we are clearing ourselves to realize more in this year. So any thoughts from anybody there? I will send this fire offering to all of you so that you can recite this again for yourselves or take a look at it. Remember that these are the essential precepts, the essential 5. I will not consume, right? Whether it's by the ear, I will not consume by the heart things that will not be of service and benefit to me. I don't think that means you can't have a piece of chocolate either. So be watchful of our tendency to make the objects bad. It is in fact not that. And be watchful of this all or nothing that we can tend to get into right away, right? And it's a very bad habit of mine to go, okay, now I've just gotta, be watchful of that. That's not the point of this practice. The practice is, can I just see clearly what's happening, where it's coming from, and what ultimately will be of greatest Right? That will take a little stillness. That's why we practice that for 60 breaths a day. Without it, you are just run amok. That's a Buddhist word. Run amok. That one. I can hear someone. Did somebody want to offer something?
I wanted to say that it was just very cleansing and emotional. I started crying, and I love this idea of not doing this all or nothing, like setting that exact goal and then not reaching it and being
That's right.
upset, and then just the trying to accomplish at least towards something. And I love the fact of taking these and like I'm going to bury mine on my property and just try to maybe see it grow and maybe
That's
put it
exactly
with-
right. Perfect, Felicia. That's exactly the idea. I'm actually going to put mine under a family memorial tree that it grow love in my family.
And I was gonna, I had to put my dog to sleep this week, and my older dog, and I'm gonna put her collar with it.
Yes, wonderful. Yes, that love will help you remember. That's the love that's going to carry us into the new year. It is got to be from love that these intentions are made, not out of demand, right? Because then we've just propagated it all over again. Now with new demand, with, more clever demands, with more spiritual demands, with more Buddhist demands. This is no improvement. It's really, how do we activate, cultivate, and embody more love? And do whatever the process is that will transform that continuously, right? This is just the ceremony for the embodiment, but that continuously transform. I'm going to be saying I'm sorry a lot more, I'm pretty sure. Because from that place, I know I can begin to go, wait a minute, that's not really what I intentioned. That's not the result I was hoping for. That's not the love that is I am most capable of. And then we begin again. Thank you. Thank you. All right, it's already 9:01. We're just going to sit for one more minute. Just one more. Jim was out of here, but he's got one more minute. Yeah, he's got a spot to go with it. Some people, again, will be moving their ashes. Some will be taking them. It's all fine. But let's just remember for a moment that we're practicing here today for all beings everywhere without exception. There are many people who don't know about intentions. They don't know about aspirations. They don't know about the capacity to turn that which was an affliction into the good medicine. May we do this then for all those who do not yet know or see the path. May we carry them all as they, in their way, by the way, as I said, carry us. The truck driver, the grocer, the farmer. May we all remember our true names, says Thich Nhat Hanh. And our true name is we. May we practice until we are all happy. I bow to you in all beings, that this be a very happy, happy new year. Thank you all so much. I'm going to strike the bell one final time in this year. Thank you all so much. Thank you. There will be chocolate here for you. We've got lots Lots, a lot of them. May you celebrate, be happy, be healthy, take good care of yourselves. Let us know how we can help you. Happy to do so. Good to see you, everyone. Blessings all. Enjoy this transition.